What's up, everybody? Welcome to black screen action, looks like there. Well, I'm PLD.
Yeah.
I'm PLD. Down there is Matty Gunner. Up here on this side is...
We don't know. Mystery
know.
co-host, I guess.
I wonder, actually. I wonder if PJ Campbell, who's in the chat... I wonder if PJ Campbell in the chat decided that he was going to sabotage
Did
Mr. Jarvi.
PJ just assassinate Jarvi? Oh, no, there he is.
What the fuck just happened?
I believe PJ assassinated Jarvi for a second there.
So I love the fact that I froze with this. Like, did you see the face that I froze with?
No, it was a black screen for us.
Oh, okay. Good.
We had a completely black screen.
So I got no idea how the intro
You had this big shit-eating grin on your face.
All right, let me say really quick.
Die Hard 2 is really good.
I really thought that was a bit you were going to do. I wasn't sure if you were doing a bit or not. I didn't see the comment in the chat. I'm like, all of a sudden I just saw, I'm like, there's somebody here. But it is funny how you and PJ are going at it, and all of a sudden your computer freezes. PJ does have a lot of power here on the PLD Project Network, I'm not going to lie. Anyway, guys, I'm PLD. That's Matty Gunner. That's Richard-Erik Jarvi. We are on Class Action, the classiest action show on the interwebs, and we are doing Die Hard 2 versus Lethal Weapon 2. I am here to reclaim order because last week was such a shambles. Again, you guys almost got fired again.
It was a great episode.
It was great. We had a great time.
It was you did some things. You took the Ed Harris game away. You were disrespecting Ed Harris. I didn't like it, but
we didn't disrespect Ed Harris. We respected Nick Cage and we respected the wishes of the people.
Yeah, okay, that's one way
what
you said.
happened. That's what we did.
We're gonna let it go. I'm here this week for Die Hard 2 versus Lethal Weapon 2. And the funny thing about this one is, this is the first time on Class Action we are actually kind of doing a repeat, because we actually did Die Hard 2 versus Lethal Weapon 2 during the first run of Class Action, and then the winner ended up facing Beverly Hills Cop 2 in a sequel,
which was one of the episodes I guested on.
Yes, indeed. I am not going to tell you.
No memory of this.
You don't remember this at all, Jarvi, do you? That's funny. I will tell you what happened last time after the match. I don't want to influence the match at this point. I know who won last time. I'm curious to see if we have a similar...
it's got to be obvious, right?
It might be. I don't know if it's obvious.
We've said that before.
Yeah, but that's not what Class Action is about. We take two movies, we put them up against each other in 5 categories. The categories are what make the game. This is not like which is your favorite movie off the top of your head.
You can tell he's a host.
About the categories.
You can tell Jarvi's a host. He just led straight into like what the show's about, the premise of the show. Well done, my friend. That was top notch.
All right.
Until I freeze again.
Until you freeze again, exactly.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Let's get right into it. We are doing Die Hard versus Lethal Weapon 2, Die Hard 2 rather versus Lethal Weapon 2, and we do have those 5 custom-made categories. I'm going to give you the 5 custom-made categories before we play a game. We play a new game. Let's just sit on that.
Oh yeah, new game.
New game. The trial will consist of these custom-made categories. We have better heroes, better villain, better story, better action, and better one-liners, which I think is a lot of fun.
Yeah, that one. I can't wait.
I can't wait either for that one. That one's going to be a lot of fun. But you know what? I will be a little spoiler here, Jarvi. Here's a little spoiler. Last time's categories were better leads, heroes, better action sequences. All right, better action, better villains, better one-liners, and better sequel. So I take that one out. It's an interesting choice, that one. So interesting.
I mean, this is kind of a battle to see which is the better of the sequels. So,
the new
I
game
think story can definitely talk about the sequel and
aspect of it,
the influence of the last movie in this one easily.
100%. In the chat, PJ wants to know: is the game who makes PJ so mad that he rage quits? Could be.
It's too early in the year for that. We'll do that in like April, June time, May, June time.
All right. Well, instead of what will Ed Harris play, we have decided, as a long time ago promised, we are now playing what will the wheel play, pretty much. We have 8 actors on a wheel. 4 actors, 4 actresses. We're going to spin that wheel, and then we're going to have to put said actor or actress into Die Hard 2 and Lethal Weapon 2 or Lethal Weapon 2 off the cuff. We have not prepared this. We can either replace somebody or we can write a new character on the spot for them. So let's see what happens here.
So you gave us first off before you spin the wheel, you gave us shit for not doing Ed Harris, and now we're not.
Now you want to play a game where we don't.
Ed Harris is on here, and I can make the wheel happen what I want to do. So you know what I mean. And don't worry about that. We got on the wheel. Ed
Harris is on the wheel every week.
Ed Harris will be on the wheel every week. That's my compromise for Ed Harris going away from Ed Harris. You'll always have Ed Harris on the wheel. Ed Harris, Charlize Theron, Nicolas Cage, Tessa Thompson, Tom Cruise, Jarvi, Anna de Armas, and Denzel Washington. So without further ado, why don't we spin this wheel? Do we get a mulligan? We have to go no matter what the first one is.
Yeah.
Okay, first one is.
Which movie are we doing this for?
Die Hard 2.
Okay. Oh wow.
Ooh.
She's the toughest one on the wheel.
Tessa Thompson. Ooh. Okay. Tessa Thompson for Die Hard 2. Let's think about that one. Because these are both. The funny thing is, these are both very male-driven movies. Tough. So we're gonna have to. I think we're gonna have to get a little creative here. I mean, the easiest one. I'll go first. I mean, the easiest one. I'm not gonna do this because I think it's too easy. The easiest one is to do Holly McClane and have Bruce Willis marry Tessa Thompson on the plane.
Yeah.
I don't want to put her there. I don't want to put her there. You know what I want to do? I'm gonna do it this way. I am going to make her John Amos.
No, dude, that was
Major Grant.
I was just reeling towards that one. Damn it, damn you.
Major Grant. She comes in as the lead of the lead military guy, the special forces that ends up betraying, because she has actually that great. She has that great demeanor for someone who can like, you don't know whether she'd be on your side or not. She could be like really. She gets like really kind of bond with John McClane a little bit, like John Amos does, and then also on the flip of a switch, become a badass.
She's in great fucking shape too, so she looks like she could be in the military.
100%.
She can be commanding for sure. Like you think of her in Thor Ragnarok. She's a badass, and she can actually she wasn't in command in Ragnarok. She was more in command in the next one, right? Because there she was kind of like loose cannon, like drinking and
she kind of became
the alpha role over Thor in Ragnarok. Like he was still very much like she was bossing him around, like pretty much showing him who's boss.
I like that though. You guys have any other ones? Any different ones for me?
I've got one. Got one.
Go on.
You kind of, because that I was like moving my way towards the same pick, but Pelham 1, 2, 3 kind of influenced my pick, and I'm gonna recast Fred Thompson, Trudeau in the comms tower, because I want a similar feel to Pelham 1, 2, 3. So I'm gonna have her in charge of the entire airport and the air tower. I think it completely changes the character, but it could be a very interesting one.
Oh, I like that. I definitely like that. Okay, cool. What about you, Matty? Anything different?
I'm gonna recast her. I'm gonna write a role for her.
Oh, nice.
She's gonna play the co-pilot of the plane that Holly McClane is on. But when Dick won't get in his seat, she comes out and breaks his nose again, like Holly did. Punches his front 2 teeth out.
Oh, but I would pay to see Tessa Thompson giving a good shot to William Atherton. So I like that idea.
But when he's on the phone in the toilet, she just opens the door and punches his front 2 teeth out.
I like that. I just have to shout out in the chat, PJ saying no Bruce Campbell. I know, but I didn't want the whole wheel to be old white guys, so I tried to change it up a little bit.
Yeah, that's true.
Bruce Campbell will be on future wheels, absolutely, just for you, PJ. I will maybe even next week I'll put him on the wheel for you, okay? And I hope that will assuage your feelings before you rage quit on us again. All right, let's move on to Lethal Weapon 2, and let's get the wheel back up here to decide who's going to be on Lethal Weapon 2. And let me see here. Let me get that banner down. Here goes the spin. In Lethal Weapon 2.
Ana de Armas.
Wow.
Oh, also known as
2 ladies on there now.
Gunner. Like future.
I mean, there is a role that's tailor-made for her, but it's too easy, right?
I think it's too easy. I don't know what to say. Matty, we're gonna let Matty go first this time. Since he went, I'll go last. Matty go first this time.
I mean, I know what role I want, but I'm not gonna.
Your wife is not a part of the movie. Your wife is not a part of the movie.
No. This is tough.
You have to write some. Well, Jarvi has one in mind.
I'm going super wacky.
Jarvi can go first because he's got one in mind.
I'm completely gonna upset everyone, so I'm going completely wacky. Okay. I loved her in No Time to Die, and the fact that she wasn't just this badass who is, you know, this woman in control. She was kind of getting toward. There was like a goofy side to her. So
okay.
I'm gonna recast Leo Getz as Ana de Armas and have her just go freaking be all over the place, be like she's on cocaine nonstop. Just go, okay. All right. They fuck you at the drive-through. I think you could pull it off.
I was considering it. But I'm glad you went there.
Because she has a goofy side to her.
No!
How funny would that be?
Do that, Leo Getz.
Crazy.
Oh, so she'd be. Come on, Liana. Here you go, Liana Getz. I like that. See, I like that.
Works.
Okay, I got one. I'm gonna write a role for her.
Okay.
The guys give Leo shit all the time, blah 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 blah. But Leo talks about this. We say that in the movie, Leo talks about having a wife, but no one ever sees her. And we find out at the end of the movie that Ana de Armas is Leo Getz's wife.
She's a bit too young, though.
But then you have the scene where like they're like Riggs and Murtaugh are like looking at each other. Riggs and Murtaugh are like both looking at each other like, really? Like you?
Oh, okay.
Huh?
Okay.
Huh?
Go the other guy's route. Like, seriously? What is she say? This is not. Get the fuck out of here. This is not your wife.
Yeah.
Who is she?
Who is this person? Get dressed.
I like the comedy angle to it.
Okay,
yeah, that could work.
All right,
that kind of comedy like fits at the time.
It does. All right, so I have one in mind. I have a funny one that doesn't quite work, and I'll mention it, and then I'll tell you my real one. My first initial thing is because she's so fucking hot. I want to have her be Roger's daughter, who's in the rubber. Who's in the rubber?
How would that work, though?
Hey, I don't care because you know what? She makes me want to go out and buy rubbers right now. That's how that works. Let's be honest.
Hey man, I'm trying to get a fucking alimony check. I ain't buying them. I'm not doing it.
All right, my real selection probably. Okay. I think I'm gonna go with something different for her. I want to try. I mean, she's a badass anyway at times. What if she actually replaces Arjun Rudd? What if she that's in charge? Like, you don't expect her to be like the you don't expect her to be in charge because she's young looking and everything else. She has all these like hitmen around her that are older. But when it comes to it, she is the baddest of the badasses of them all. And so she's the one that unfortunately Roger's got to shoot her at the end. Sorry, Matty. But but that would be a great fit for her.
I mean, she's gonna be the lead badass in
Ballerina,
which is gonna have Keanu Reeves.
It's just me, or is Matty breaking up a bit?
Matty broke up just a little bit there, but I think it's back.
Oh, you're back.
I think. Are you back?
Yeah, I'm back. Yeah.
All right, so that's what I'm going to go. Like Arjun Riggs. I didn't want to replace Riggs or Murtaugh, although that would be kind of fun too. I also kind of see if we do just a female Murtaugh and Riggs, maybe Anna and Tessa together. Maybe that's what we do. Oh yeah, Anna as Riggs and Tessa as Murtaugh.
That's how they should freaking reboot Lethal Weapon. Tessa Thompson and Ana de Armas as two lady cops.
Oh, I'd like it. I would really like that. I would dig that completely. So maybe Mel Gibson could play like the captain or something this time. Have like completely play against type in a way. Like he's the guy trying to be in control. Whatever. That'd be kind of funny. All right. Well, that's our game for this week. I hope you enjoyed the replacement of the Ed Harris game with the. Actually, not replacement. It's the expansion of the Ed Harris game, so to speak. So next week we'll take those two off the list, and we'll have two new names at least, maybe a couple different ones. Maybe I'll throw PJ a bone and give him Bruce Campbell on the list. But otherwise, let's get right into the heart of the matter, the trial itself. Die Hard 2 versus Lethal Weapon 2. We're going to start right off the way with Better Heroes. It's interesting you had this. Kind of had this conversation last week already. This is one that makes it's a kind of a repeat of last week. But because I wasn't here, I'll leave this one off. I think this one is easily Lethal Weapon because I think that Bruce Willis is especially in this film. I could see voting for Bruce Willis in the first film because of how iconic John McClane is. John McClane is probably the most iconic action hero there is. I feel like in the sequel, John McClane is doing a little bit of a repeat, whereas Mel Gibson's Riggs and Murtaugh feel like they have grown from the first one into the second one. I feel like Riggs especially has gone from this like loose cannon. He's still a loose cannon, but he's still got a little more grounding to him. He's found his family with Murtaugh, and with Murtaugh's family and everything else. And even in the police force, he really feels like he fits now. Even though he's still a little lunatic, let's be honest with you. He still has those moments where he's a lunatic. He does. But that's Riggs. That's who Riggs is. But I feel like he's made such a growth in there. And Roger feels, Roger's a little similar to his first, but he's the one who's not supposed to change a whole lot.
He's kind of the same. Yeah.
He's kind of the same, but he's supposed to in a way. But because of Mel Gibson's Riggs's growth, I'm going to give this a Lethal Weapon 2. John McClane's just too much of a repeat for me in Die Hard 2.
Yeah, I think I would give Bruce Willis as John McClane a little bit more credit in the sense that I think he's like when shit starts to go down in the first one, he's not prepared for it pretty much at all. Like he adapts to the situation, but he's got pretty much no clue what's happening. He's just cop off the streets who manages to find that strength in him and take control of the situation eventually. In the second one, from the start, he's kind of onto them. Like he spots the bad guys straight away. He goes straight to this tower. He tries to warn the good guys like this is about to go down. And I think it's earned because of the first movie. It's earned. And like, you really understand that he kind of spots the danger when it's coming his way. But that's as far as I'll go defending John McClane. I think this is easily a Lethal Weapon 2 as well. I will echo the fact that I think Murtaugh is kind of the same, but you can really tell the chemistry between Riggs and Murtaugh has grown quite a lot. Like they're laughing a lot together. Like because Leo Getz now kind of is the newcomer in the group now, and you can tell like Riggs and Murtaugh they're speaking the same language. They're picking on the new guy who is Leo Getz, and I think Leo Getz has to be discussed in this category as well. He is the hero, one of the heroes of this movie.
Yeah, I never considered Leo Getz as I guess I can see that. I never.
He's not a shoe. He's not a villain either.
No. He was a villain, but he becomes family.
There's a lot of love in our chat for Leo Getz.
So. I love Leo. I love Leo. I just didn't place him in the hero category. That's all. Definitely the leads category that we called about last time, Jarvi. These hero, I kind of thought of just the two big roles there, but I guess that makes sense now that I think about it. And that means in that case, that definitely adds more to Lethal Weapon side because Die Hard didn't have Die Hard. Al Powell's barely around in this one. He makes like a cameo appearance, like just for the hell of it. Like it's like, oh, we got to get him in somewhere, even though we're in Washington. And the other guys, Dennis Franz, Dennis Franz is mostly an antagonist for the most part until the end. The other, we got the guy, the janitor there, but he doesn't do a whole lot. Yeah, I do like the janitor character.
Oh, he's funny. A cool character, yeah.
Like Iwo Jima. I'm not going to clean this up.
I think Murtaugh also kind of has learned to, love life and laugh at life a bit more, because the moment when he gets made fun of because of his daughter, like the condom tree, that's at his desk. Yeah. Like everyone's laughing at him, and he's just like Murtaugh just. And then he starts laughing. I freaking love that moment because he realizes there's no way out of this situation. Might as well just laugh it off.
Just laugh it off. Just go all in.
And I think Riggs. One more thing I'll add about Riggs, which I really enjoyed. At the very end, when him and Peter, the henchman, they're fighting. When he's defeated him. And he doesn't shoot him. He doesn't kill him. He lets him live. You think he lets him live. And he's actually working towards the button. Right. But Peter kind of grabs the weapon, tries to shoot him. I don't think that would have mattered. I think he was walking towards the button regardless, because he knew he killed his wife. Wow. Because you can tell he's walking away. He's walking straight towards the button. Yeah. I think he's trying to, you have to make the hero a good guy. He's not a cold-blooded killer.
Right.
But I think he actually went for the button straight away.
Yeah, for sure.
Real quick, I just want to go to the chat before you go to you, Matty. I just want to catch up on some things real quick. Actually, they brought up an interesting point. Kelly did this. She brought about, they kind of did the female with Bad Boys, with the LA Finest, as Alan Sweeney said. I never really got a chance to watch that, to be honest with you. So maybe I missed out because Reef is saying it's a great show. Interesting enough. Of course, we do have some more Leo love from PJ, from Christo. Always good to see you in the chat. Now, this Al Powell, the PLD character. Are you saying I'm Al Powell?
Wow.
I mean, I could be worse. I like Al Powell. I like him a lot. I think he's got some great lines in there. I could do that. I'm okay with that, actually. I'm okay. All right, Matty, what do you got to say about the heroes or leads of that?
I'm gonna be the one. I'm gonna be the one to do it, aren't I?
I guess you are.
I guess I am.
PJ, go at him.
Leo Getz is the original third leg. Leo Getz is the original appendage.
So you're calling me Leo Getz down, is that what you're saying?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, fair.
But John McClane didn't do one thing that Riggs, it was Riggs that did it. Riggs nearly drove off without his fucking dog while his house was getting shot up.
But he didn't.
John McClane wouldn't have done that. Yeah, the only reason he didn't was because the woman said, "Oh, Sam's back there. We got to stop and wait for Sam." Riggs was happy to keep on driving while his dog was in the back getting fucking the house shot up.
Don't tell me that. Don't tell me that.
Riggs,
I'm gonna fucking flip my vote if that's the case.
Riggs was driving away to draw the gunfire away from Sam,
and I think he knew that Sam was it Sam. I think he knew that Sam was going to be alright. He was.
Yeah, he knew Sam was going to live. I don't buy that.
To believe that.
I don't buy that. I don't buy that.
No, I'm sorry. On good conscience, I have to take John McClane.
Wow. Okay.
Did he though?
I mean, I love the explanation though, but I just refuse to believe that explanation.
Did he though?
I think
I'm firing guns at his trailer.
Yeah, I think he did. He's getting away. And he knows they're going to chase him. They're not going to chase down the dog.
I don't know about that.
I do. He had faith in the dog
at that moment.
He had faith in the dog.
And the fact that she had to tell him to stop so Sam could catch up.
Well, she saw him. He thought he was staying behind.
Nope.
Matty, this is the dumbest argument in the history of dumb arguments. This is the dumbest.
Nope. PJ, nope. PJ, you're a dog owner.
Yeah, he should understand it.
PJ, you should be sympathizing with me. What? Okay, I get he didn't intend to drive off, but what if something did happen?
Don't do this to me. You know, this is my weak spot.
He had to make a choice. He had to make a choice. He had to make a choice, and his choice was to get away safely with the woman and
the dog went straight back to the
bring the villains after him. They won't be shooting at the dog anymore because they know we'll be shooting at him. He knew. So he chose a woman that he just met, a woman that he slept with one time. No, he's actually putting her in the line of fire. He's putting her in the line of fire with him. He wants the dog safe at home. She's pretty hot, though. Yeah, I agree. That's true. I do want to throw this out there. Chris, I've got to give Chris some love here. He was waiting for someone to ask how Leo is funny. What is funny about Leo? You guys get the reference?
No.
Is Leo a clown? Does Leo amuse you? Is he a clown for you? We've done this fucking movie, Jarvi.
Yeah, we have. Damn it. Good one, Chris, though.
I like that. All right. We're going to move on before Matty looks even more dumber than he does already. To be honest with you, we're going to move on to the next. This one's I'm going to strike that from the record. I might even edit that out during the upload to the audio podcast. Let's go to Better Villains. Better Villains. Much different case, obviously. This time, two different villains. We don't have a Hans Gruber to kick around anymore. As it's Christmas time already. He fell from Nakatomi Plaza. We are looking at Arjun Rudd versus William Sadler, and also, I mean, I don't remember the other guy's name. The kind of nameless general. No, John Amos is a villain. Yeah, definitely. I was thinking about the nameless general guy.
Oh, you mean Radek? that was Radek from Air Force One.
Pretty much, it was Radek.
It came out later, but
it really was General Esperanza. That was it. Esperanza.
Yeah. Can I go first on this one?
Sure. I do want to throw. We do have Arjun Rudd. We do also have the Aryan race guy that his main top lieutenant was one of the bigger ones, the one who reveals that he did kill Riggs' wife as well. Forsett. That's it. Derek O'Connor. So let's go ahead, Matty. Start this one off.
it's so weird to me to see Joss Ackland play this level of a piece of shit, because to me he will always be Hans from the Mighty Ducks. Like
Yes.
Oh my god, that's him.
That's him.
You didn't realize that?
No.
He's such a like sweet old man from the Mighty Ducks who like loves kids and everything, and then you put him in this and he's like this racist, pervy, snidey prick, and like he's supposed to be untouchable with a diplomatic immunity. Shut the fuck up. And then you got Vorsted, who kind of covers the role of the colonel for me. In from Die Hard, like he's got that part covered, like that creepy mercenary. He does exactly the same and probably better. So comes down to like Rudd and Esperanza, and out of those two, I gotta pick Rudd. So Lethal Weapon, Lethal Weapon 2 takes this for me.
Okay, I get that.
Ackland, who's hot, like he's such a sweet old man in the Mighty Ducks.
Quack.
And in this, he's a fucking dick.
Oh yeah, he is. That's absolutely. I mean, he's great, phenomenal. He's an old school.
The way he fucking like rubs his hand across the.
It is very creepy. Yeah. It is very creepy. Jarvi, why don't you go next on this one? Because I'm kind of curious.
I think Lethal Weapon 2 has upped its game when it comes to villains. Because if you remember from last week, I wasn't a fan of the villains in the first one. I think that like the South American diplomats trafficking drugs, like it was kind of a nice touch. And Josh Ackland and Derek O'Connor,
when have South Africans like, been the villains? Like that's new.
Not a lot. But I still don't think they hold a candle to Die Hard 2. I think William Sadler is such a menacing presence. Like the first time we see him, the freaking naked fucking yoga fighting shit that he does, that's a freaking villain. That's like, and you can tell throughout the movie, he has such drive. Like in his eyes, he has that drive. He's going through everyone who goes up against him. And and also I got a lot of General Hummel vibes to him. There was I could really I know I'm stealing PLD's answer and I'm so happy. I think there's a lot of Hummel in him, and I mean that's just the main villain. The henchman, we got John Leguizamo, we got Robert Patrick. I mean John Amos in a way, also kind of the lesser villain type. And they could all carry the main villain role in any other movie, in my opinion. So, but there is the biggest villain of both these movies, and probably the biggest villain of all the movies. The old lady on the plane in Die Hard 2 deserves to fucking burn in hell. Do you remember what she said? She shows the taser, says, "This works. I tried it on my dog. And the poor thing limped for a week. Fuck this." She wins alone as the worst piece of shit in the world.
Wow.
I can't argue it. I used the same logic.
That's
I know you did.
I'm going to throw some, before I go in there, I'm going to throw in some of the chat in here, PJ. For PJ Camp, of course, saying, "Look, if Lethal Weapon 2 villain doesn't win, what are we doing here?" Diplomatic immunity, yes. PJ does say one of the villains actually killed Riggs' wife. It's personal.
That's true.
Lethal Weapon stakes are way better than anything.
That story.
Comes to villains.
That story.
The only way Die Hard 2 has a chance here is if Robert Patrick is actually playing the T-1000. Thank you, Galactus. Good call. Alex Smithy saying the villain in Lethal Weapon 2 is apartheid. Can't get more villainous than that. Okay, that's fair.
Fair.
And Galactus says, "Don't try to use General Hummel to influence PLD."
I mean, he does have similarities, right?
Okay. Okay. All right. Okay.
He already wishes he was.
Okay. Here.
Okay.
Like, fuck you at the drive-thru. To be completely honest, I love Arjun Rudd a lot. I do like when he says, I actually, even as cheesy it is, the diplomatic immunity revoked thing is awesome. It's funny. I do think that far more than Arjun Rudd. Derek O'Connor's voice said is far more the better villain. Oh God, I'm going to do it. I can't believe I'm going to do this. I got to go with Die Hard 2 also. I do. The reason why for me is that if you look at, while the stakes are bigger on the hero, like the reveal about Riggs' wife that PJ says, I agree with that. If you look at the storyline and the idea behind everything, Arjun Rush's villainy is basically limited to, I got diplomatic immunity, I can run drugs. That's his whole story. I got diplomatic immunity, I can run drugs. I got to wait for Riggs to go off and do stuff. That's it. That's all he does. The entire film is go away, go away, go away. Sadler, first of all, besides the Mallrats-esque opening Rogue routine, which is phenomenal.
That was a cool scene.
They actually come up with this brilliant, like, terroristic plot. Like, really advances the plot forward. They are the ones that are moving things forward. Arjun Rudd is very passive comparatively. Sadler's active. The villainy when Bruce Willis they go to that other remote location where Robert Patrick is, et cetera, and then they decide to crash the plane. Well, way worse than anything that any of the Lethal Weapon 2 villains did. I mean, Lethal Weapon 2 villains did what? They tied Danny Glover up. They threatened him. They said, "You suck. You're going to die," and that's it. They fucking crashed the plane. We gotcha. Oh, we gotcha.
Died.
We gotcha.
Well, Arjun did kill a lot of the police officers.
He did. That's true. He did do that whole thing towards the end. That was kind of like. You're right. You're right there.
But it's not a plane full of innocent people.
But a plane full of innocent
civilians.
The civilians like that. I think and Sadler is far more charismatic than Arjun Rudd is. I'm sorry, I got to be honest with you. Arjun Rudd, I didn't really get a lot out of Arjun Rudd except for just disdain. I'm better than you.
You're supposed to hate him.
I don't, compared to Sadler. He's just kind of there.
What?
He's just kind of
there.
No,
Sadler's just awesome as a villain.
Arjun's kind of just he's a bad guy there. He's a douche.
I'm washing my hands. This one, the people. I guys, I tried.
I like Sadler.
This one ain't on me. I ain't getting fired.
Here's the thing. To me, Sadler is over Arjun, and to me, John Amos is not far over, but he's over at Forstead. And then you add the woman on the plane that I didn't even think about. And then you add the woman on the plane.
Beats all of them.
And not only that, you also get fucking William Atherton. I consider him a villain too. The newspaper reporter.
He's a shit weasel.
He's a shit weasel. He's still a villain.
But you can categorize him under a villain. I think a shit weasel is a type of villain.
Comparatively. You're right. I did forget for a moment the idea they did kill the cops in that one thing.
There's actually two aliens actors in there. There's Vasquez and then there's Dietrich.
Dietrich's also in it as well. Yes.
Yeah, they're both there.
I just feel like where the story is better in Lethal Weapon 2 and the stakes are better for Riggs and Murtaugh to a degree, I just think Sadler's a better villain. I like Sadler's thing. So I'm giving it to Die Hard 2.
He's more able. He's more menacing. He's more dangerous. He has awesome fight scenes. I mean, in every category, he's better.
I agree. All right, let's move on. See what else we got here.
That's why Cavill beat PSH. Let's move on.
All right, moving on. We're going to better storyline.
Get me off of his name. I don't want to be associated with that.
Boy. Better storyline here. I'm going to let you begin, Jarvi, with this one.
Better story?
Yeah.
I think Lethal Weapon 2, again, did a better job with his storyline than the first movie. That was one of my problems. Was the first Lethal Weapon story-wise was a little convoluted. I couldn't really tell you the story, what it was about. The second one, actually, when you think about it, it is kind of similar. There's, again, like, drugs are involved. They're, like, running across the city. There's cover-ups. It is very similar to the first one, but I think they tie in Riggs' past into this, which makes a big difference. And I think, like, the fact that one of the villains was, in fact, the killer of Riggs' wife is what I'm talking about. I think that was, like, a great sort of callback to previous movie. And I love the fact that they saved it for the second movie. They sort of let it sit there, marinate there, and then they freaking drop the bomb. And when Mel Gibson gets the chance to shine, he's like, he has the best dramatic, traumatic expressions and sort of, what's the word I'm looking for? Well, you know what I mean. It's the same thing he does in Braveheart is when he learns that they killed his wife. Like he has that rage and emotionality about him. And I also loved that they brought in the Dutch woman, not the Dutch woman, South African woman, Rika Hagendas or whatever the fuck her name was. Really, really great 80s lovemaking scene in there, which was so gratuitous, but freaking worked. Die Hard 2 story-wise, I think also kind of like Die Hard 1 is one of the greatest action movies of all time and one of the greatest action movie storylines of all time. But I think Die Hard 2 kind of just script-wise one up the previous one when it just comes to the script. Because how do you do a Die Hard sequel? You take the same formula, you put it in an airport. I mean, it's bigger, it's more bombastic, it's a bigger playing field, it's very ambitious. A lot of movies borrowed from that formula. I couldn't stop but notice that Air Force One was pretty much Die Hard 2 in a lot of ways. So, okay, because of that, because of the fact that Die Hard 2 kept this, I mean, both of the movies kept the same storyline, but I still think if I had to retell the story of both movies, it's still going to be Die Hard 2 that's more memorable to me. Yeah, even though I enjoyed Lethal Weapon 2 more as a movie overall, but I think when it comes to the script, again, the elevator pitch comes in, I think I got to go with Die Hard 2. Yeah. Sorry, PJ.
I actually had already written you down for Lethal Weapon 2 the way you were talking, so I have to recalculate my scores.
I mean, you can just give me that vote because I'm going to go with Lethal Weapon 2. I feel like Jarvi kind of inadvertently battered me up for my point in that Die Hard 2 is essentially he's on his way to meet his wife at Christmas time and has to stop a terrorist plot. Where have we seen that before? Oh, the first one. But it's in a different locale with different villains who have a different plan. And it's, I feel like the world, I don't want to use the term world building, but like the layers and the depth added to Lethal Weapon 2 kind of brings the story more, makes the story more open. Whereas Die Hard 2, we're kind of like, we know John McClane's a badass. We love that John McClane's a badass. We love that he's willing to kill every motherfucker in sight to get to his family and do really cool shit to do that. But we'll move on to that in the next category. It's still a great story because it is very similar to the first one. But for me, Lethal Weapon 2 did more to be like, okay, let's take this a bit further. And I get that could possibly be convoluted with better sequel, but it's potato, tomato.
Okay. Yeah, Jarvi, you've gone too far. You've gone too far with this one. I agree with that. I will go on board with the villain thing. But Die Hard 2 is really just let's do Die Hard again and let's put it in an airport. Okay, so you made it snowy in the airport. There's a couple of outside sequences, so he's not as claustrophobic. But really, there's nothing new about Die Hard at all. I still, as much as I love watching Die Hard 2 and rewatch, I love the movie. I think it's a lot better than people give it credit for. It's a lot of fun. There's no way that Lethal Weapon 2 doesn't wipe the floor with Die Hard 2 as far as story goes for me. And a lot of it is what Matty said and what I said in the heroes category. It's the evolution of Riggs and Murtaugh and the relationship. There's so much underlying story. Like the overall plot, I guess, like the drugs thing, fine, but that's like not even the point of the movie. The point of the movie and the point of the whole Lethal Weapon franchise is much more than hero versus villain. The whole point of Lethal Weapon franchise is the evolution of Riggs and his relationship and how they become a family. I mean, by the time we're going to get there, we get to Lethal Weapon 3 and 4. they're really a family. That's what it's about. The bad guys, good guys don't even really come into play, to be completely honest with you.
Are you saying it was Fast and Furious before Fast and Furious?
It was quite honestly, I think it was
before Point Break.
100%. I mean, no, I think it was. I think Lethal Weapon started it. I think it solidified it, Lethal Weapon 2 with the great sequences between Riggs and Murtaugh's wife when he mentions the gold pen, that whole storyline there, the whole angle where you actually see the girlfriend get killed. You're like, holy shit, I didn't think that was going to happen. Like, we had this whole love sequence, and usually in these movies, the girl wins, the girl lives, and he gets it's a happy ending. There's no happy ending here. And then we also learn not only did they kill her, they're the ones who killed the fucking wife back in the first one that we didn't even know about. That was a totally new and loved it so much. I love it, like how the storyline.
Spoiler alert for a movie from 1990.
Sure, exactly. And at the end, when Mel Gibson goes nuts, and they have this great moment where it's kind of cliched now, maybe, but the whole like "we're not cops today" kind of thing. Mm-hmm. But like it's done so well in this one, where like even Danny Glover's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna throw the badge away," and he's like, and he has a whole like insane sequence. They got her, they got her, Riggs, they got her, Raj, they got her, they killed her, and Raj, he's like, "Calm down, what's going on?" Like, they killed her, they killed both of them. And like he's not even making sense at this point, but it's such a great storyline moment for them. This is like no way is anything else but Lethal Weapon. Die Hard is a fun time. This is a movie. This is a storyline.
I'll admit when I was wrong. I'm changing my vote.
You're gonna change your vote?
Yeah.
There we go. There we go.
Yeah.
To put it in,
I think I focused too much on the sort of the danger of the movie. Like what was the bad guy's storyline? Like sort of the threat of the movie is what I pretty much focused on. But that's not what Lethal Weapon is about. Right. I think the action is there to complement the story, not the other way around. So yeah.
Correct.
And like we said, Lethal Weapon 2. When have we seen the South Africans be the villain? And they bring apartheid into it, which at the time that fucking dicey topic.
That's true.
They use a word there? Is that like is that word like?
I think that's
is that a bad word, or I've never heard that word before, but it's that like their way of saying the bad word.
I think it's a slur. I don't know. I actually never heard it before. This is the only time I've ever heard it.
Oh wait, what?
Kafir or whatever.
Oh yeah. That's bad. Yeah,
it's a bad. That's a bad slur. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said. Maybe I should have said. I'm sorry.
No, but we said it. You said it in the con. I asked you what word you were talking about,
and I didn't know what that word was. I assumed by context. I assumed it was a slur that in that fashion. I just have never heard it outside of this movie.
Yeah, me neither. Me neither.
So it must be a South African thing itself. But real quick, just want to say hi to Shadow of the Raven. Ed, good to see you here.
Dude, that's his nickname.
I like that name. Yeah.
Is that a new person in the chat?
New person in the chat. So good. Welcome.
Shadow of the dude. That's a song title.
Sounds like Matty's next band name or something.
No.
I like that. William Harold Jarvi turning back like Kylo Ren.
I mean, I think
Jarvi being.
It made sense. Like I would never change my vote because of the chat or because of God forbid PJ. But you guys actually did make sense.
Fair enough.
You swayed me.
Sean Wingblade just tuned in to ask the real question: cop into a half in 1993 or kid cop 1996. We could do that at some point, Sean. We could absolutely do that. Join our Patreon. You can make that happen. Shadow Raven saying likes Die Hard 1 and 3 only. That's a popular way of doing it. I mean, I like Die Hard 2 myself, but I understand why people like only Die Hard 1 and 3 because of the repetitive value of it. And Reef says, yes, I guess it does. And yeah, it is. Okay, let's move on then. We are now, as I had to readjust the scores, we are now on to better action. I'll start this one. I haven't started one in a bit. This is one that to me was surprisingly easy. I enjoy a lot of Die Hard action, but to me, Lethal Weapon's action was just much better choreographed this time through. There's a lot more stakes to it, a lot more energy to it. Like the Die Hard 2 was kind of expected. Like the snowmobile chase was fine, but then you compare it to the two like car chases we had in Lethal Weapon, and the car chases were by far much more exciting and fun. Like Mel Gibson rolling around on the top. I was here like, then I run falling off. He's chasing the car on foot. Then they have the sequence where he's on the truck and he's chasing down the truck. It's just great fun action all the way throughout. We have the great set piece at the end when they're tearing down the house on stilts and things of that nature. Die Hard 2 has some fun ones. The plane crashing is fine. That was a good moment when the plane crashed. Kind of a fun action sequence. The Robert Patrick crew versus Die Hard. Fun is like
PJ. I mean, guilty.
Fun isn't like fun isn't. It was a well choreographed shot.
I know.
The drama.
I'm just taking shots at you.
And I will say, I do like the Bruce Willis versus John Amos and Sadler on the plane.
I mean, on the wing of the plane.
That's kind of fun with the fire and everything else, of course, leading to the Yippee-ki-yay, Mr. Falcon moment. But at the end of the day, I think Lethal Weapons are far more entertaining, far more fun. Even like the non-action action sequences, like the stare down in the Arjun office, the eeny, meeny, miny, hello, that kind of the whole thing there. It's got to be Lethal Weapon easily for me by far. So that's where I'm going with. Jarvi, you want to dispute me and piss me off?
Yeah, I think the moments that you described are the moments in between the action. And I guess in a way you could pull them apart, but the argument that I made for why I switched my vote, I think Lethal Weapon has action to complement the story. I think Die Hard has story to complement the action. And there's no action like Die Hard action. I really enjoy. I think Lethal Weapon 2, again, did a better job than the first one when it comes to action. I think I enjoyed the car sequence where Mel Gibson was like hanging on the car. I think it was actually him doing most of the stunts. Like you can tell that he pretty much threw himself into it. But again, it's always the moments in between the action that make Lethal Weapon great. Like the toilet scene also. Like that to me is the most memorable moment in the movie, sort of. But it's not an action moment. It's just they're preparing for the action, and then the big boom happens, and it's kind of lighthearted. It's fun, yes, but when it comes to like hardcore action, I think there's, even though Rennie Harlin, sure, he didn't do as great of a job as John McTiernan, but there's something about Die Hard action that's, I mean, it's always so damn engaging to watch, and I love the snowmobile chase sequence. I love everything that happened in the airport. I loved the plane sequence where they're on the wing of the plane and fighting. And of course, the final freaking moment you mentioned as well. I think story-wise, yes, Lethal Weapon takes it, the humorous moments. But when it comes just to action, it's Die Hard.
Okay. All right. I wholly disagree, but that's your call. Matty, go ahead.
Oh, PJ, I wouldn't go there.
This one was tough because it's two different kinds of action. You have Die Hard 2, which kind of, it gets a little bit more creative with, you have like him killing the guy with the baggage handler, and like he's using his environment, which is a very martial arts movie kind of trope, is using your environment to help you in these action scenes. But the thing I love about the Lethal Weapon movies is when the action is just so bombast and so stupid. And this was a time when like big fluid choreography sequences weren't all the rage. So you just had big explosions and Murtaugh killing a dude with a nail gun in his work shed, and fucking Riggs tackling someone out of the 7th floor of a fucking hotel room. Like, it's just so, and the pacing as well of the action is just so boom, 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 constant all the time. Whereas Die Hard 2 is very much like action scene, then it's over. Then there's a lot of build up, then action scene, and it's over. But with Lethal Weapon, the thing I love about these older action movies, God, I can't fucking believe I'm saying that. These like late 80s, early 90s action movies, the thing I love is they are so dumb, they're so stupid with the action, and it's just constant the whole time. It's just action in your face constantly. So while I feel like the creativity I appreciate more in Die Hard 2, because as I said last week, Die Hard 1 was very much just like walk into a room, bang, bang, okay, on to the next room, walk into a room, bang, bang, on to the next one. Die Hard 2, they actually put some creativity into it. But Lethal Weapon for me is just like on a whole, they just cranked it up to 11.
Fair enough. All right, there we are with that one then. Okay. We have hit our
4.
Finally.
What was your PLD?
Oh, I went with Lethal Weapon.
Oh, did you?
I started off with that. I started off and said, yeah. So now we are in the final category now. The final category of better one-liners. Before we do that, I just want to throw out there in the chat again a couple of things. Chris is saying Die Hard and Die Hard 3 are so good that all 5 Lethal Weapons fall to second place. It's a strong statement, Chris.
Bro, have you not seen Lethal Weapon 4?
Yeah, that's a good point. PJ saying nothing in Die Hard 2 is as memorable as Lethal Weapon 2. I'm not sure that's quite true. I do.
I mean, the freaking airplane scene when he blows out of the cockpit.
That's very memorable.
Escapes the grenades. I mean, it's a freaking cool moment.
So Jarvi likes Die Hard 5.
Die Hard 5 was never. It doesn't exist. There is no Die Hard 5. I don't know what you're talking about.
Shadow Raven says for big action scenes, yes, Die Hard for one Lethal Weapon does it better. I get that. That's actually a good point. I understand what he's saying there, or he or she. Sorry, I don't know if you are a he or she. PLD, would you have followed Riggs down after he fell out the window? 7 floors up?
I mean, probably not.
Lego does say Lethal Weapon 2 action tells a story. Die Hard 2 action is the story, and that's a good point. That's exactly what I was trying to say.
Yeah, that's exactly what I said.
So, all right, so let's move on then to better one-liners. Who wants to begin this one?
Do you know why I don't go by?
We go one after the other.
Yeah. Do you know why I don't care about the chat's opinion with a lot of these things? It's because I don't give 2 fucks, and that's why I don't have an ulcer.
That was one of my favorite ones.
That line fucking killed me. when Riggs is talking to the captain, he goes, "You know why I don't give a fuck? Because I don't have an ulcer."
Yeah, so I don't have an ulcer. I know when to say I don't give a fuck. And Riggs, you know what that says? Yeah, same thing as that.
I do.
I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, he throws it back at him.
I have to live with that.
And like, hold on, what was the one? The John McClane had a really fucking good one. It was like, what sets off the metal detectors first? The lead in your ass or the shit in your brain?
Shit in your brains. That was probably the best one in Die Hard 2.
Well, I mean, let's be honest. Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker is also in Die Hard 2. So you have to have that. You have to have.
It doesn't have the same effect, though.
It doesn't. But it's still probably the most iconic one-liner of all the series, to be honest with you. I also like the
Whatever
one.
you need, Leo gets.
Whatever you need, Leo gets. From Die Hard 2. That punk pulled the Glock 7 on me. You know what that is? The porcelain gun made in Germany. Doesn't show up in your airport X-ray machines here, and it costs more than you make in a month. You'd be surprised at what I make in a month. It's more than $1.98. I'd be very surprised.
Colonel Stewart also has a great one right at the beginning of the movie when the reporter goes up to him. It's like, Colonel, can I have 2 words?
Sure. Fuck you. Or whatever it is. So well, she has a line with she has a line with similar line with McClane later on too. That's what they get. That's how they figure out what's going on. But they also have the one line between the two, then between the reporter. So I'll have your baby. And he's like, that's not the kind of ride I'm looking for.
But then you've also got like Leo gets, like Lego brings it up, like the free South Africa, you dumb son of a bitch. And like Leo's just like repeating everything he says. He's just like to stop the fascist white regime, and Leo's just like, white regime. It's just like, that should not be funny.
It's true. Leo does do that the whole time. That's the one we just mentioned before. Like, where were you, man? My partner, what? Why didn't you follow me down? Leo, yeah, why did you follow him down? So Leo is really what makes this movie.
Okay.
They fuck you at the drive-through. Okay, they fuck you at the drive-through.
They fuck you at the drive-through is one of the best.
You always go up to the counter.
Mm-hmm. They fuck you at the drive-through, and I love when again the scene where Murtaugh's on the toilet. Do we go on 3 or 3N?
That's a great running bit throughout the whole movie. The whole movie is a great bit.
It's up to you. And then when he's about to just get off, he's like, "Hey, Martin, I know
I know.
This is just like such a guy's thing. You think he's gonna say, "I love you, man." Silent. They don't say it. They just.
I don't know.
And then, of course, I'm gonna say it. It's cheesier the more it goes on, but you kind of live in it. It's the ending with when Murtaugh shoots Sergeant. Diplomatic immunity. Boom!
It's
just been revoked.
That is so
80s one letter.
I love it. It's perfect. Such a perfect moment.
And like that's right. In one ear, out the rubber.
Yep, I was just about to say that when he's walking out, in one ear, out the rubber.
I love that guy. The one night we haven't really mentioned the contractor there that works on his house with the nail gun there.
Oh yeah,
he watches that. That's a guy. I made reference to it later. That's the guy who's standing there watching the commercials. Like, yeah, she's great. We want to go buy rubbers right now.
Oh yeah,
looks at us like that. I'm like, you motherfucker. And of course, the one I did like that was funny. It's not even the line; it's Mel Gibson's delivery that makes the line. We're back. We're bad. You're black. I'm mad. Let's go.
Yeah,
the rhythm of it.
That's a good one.
Just the rhythm.
I will give John McClane one last one where he says, "Another basement, another elevator. How can the same shit happen to the same guy twice?"
Yeah, they do. That's good. That was good. They do drop that one a couple times too. The similar one. He's like, so what do you say exactly? Oh, Grant, tell him you're the wrong guy in the wrong place at the wrong time. Story of my life.
Mm-hmm.
It's good stuff.
The very final sort of thing that John McClane yells when the plane blows up, and it's the delivery of the line, like, "Holly, here's your fucking landing line."
Yeah.
I mean, the delivery and the conclusion of the moment. I mean, it's great.
The last one I'll mention. The last one I'll mention is since I am Al Powell, I guess. Al Powell is a great line too. So what's it about? And McClane's like, "Oh, it's just a feeling I have." Ouch. When you get those feelings, insurance companies start to go bankrupt. All right, we've all said our one-liners. I kind of like how we did that instead of going back and forth.
There's one last one. There's one last one at the very end. Murtaugh asks, Riggs asks, "Did you get the bad guys?" And he goes, "They've been decaffeinated."
That's right. All right. Then let's just go around and give our votes. Then I'm going to give this to Lethal Weapon 2 as more. If you look at what we just,
it has way more.
It has way more.
Yeah.
John McClane. It's funny because John McClane is built on one-liners. I think you feel it when you think of John McClane, but there's no way it comes even close to all of Leo Getz's and Martin Riggs and everything. Lethal Weapon 2. So to me, it's definitely all three of us.
It is quantity and quality.
Yes.
The quality of the quantity. There we go.
Mm-hmm.
I like how you used them last week too.
There's the corniness of Lethal Weapon 2's ones that they're very much like winking at the camera when they say it. They're kind of like, yeah, we know you thought that was funny. Whereas like John McClane is so fucking deadpan with them that they are good and they are zingers. But Lethal Weapon 2, they're almost like dad jokes. You're almost like,
oh yeah,
very good.
Very good indeed. All right, guys, that is over. The trial
nailed them both. When I shot him with the nail gun.
Oh, yeah.
The trial has been declared over. We have a verdict, and I'm actually kind of surprised. PJ, you went through a lot of trouble getting pissed off at us, and for me, for the Die Hard 2 villains. But at the end of the day, Lethal Weapon 2 rocked at 11-4.
Yeah,
11-4.
That's fair. That's fair.
So it was a little painful for the chat getting there, but we made the right call. We had the right call, 11-4. I mean, so we obviously are in the right ballpark with everybody else here. We're just more fair looking at it. That's all. Than PJ anyway. Justice has been served. That's true. All right. Thanks, Shadow. Thanks for sticking around. Hope you hit that. Come back for more next week. We'll be doing 3 versus Die Hard 3. So come back for more if you want to that subscribe.
Die Hard with a Vengeance, right?
Die Hard with a Vengeance and Lethal Weapon 3. But that's right. That should go for everybody. If you're new here, hit that subscribe, hit that like, leave us some comments. Let us know what you want to see us take on next. We're always willing to do some more. Should be a fun time going through. And Lego is right. The third films is that's a very big competition. I do love both Lethal Weapon 3 and Die Hard with a Vengeance quite a bit. And it's kind of funny considering Die Hard with a Vengeance was originally a Lethal Weapon movie. It was written as a Lethal Weapon. It was originally written to be a Lethal Weapon movie. So it makes an amazing comparison with the Lethal Weapon series. But there we go with that. All right, folks. Where can the folks find you? Jarvi?
On Facebook and Instagram at Richard-Erik with a K Jarvi, and also on Letterboxd. And here next Tuesday. Yes, sir.
Matty.
You can find me on Twitter at Matty Gunner, Instagram Matty_Gunner. You can find my band Mourner, Mourner, on all streaming platforms. And you can find me here every Tuesday. You can also find me on Letterboxd now too. I cleaned it all up and I got a rating system. Jarvi would be very happy to know I'm going to be more active on that. And you can find me here every Tuesday and now every Wednesday for the brand new show, Holy Snokes.
That's true. I was about to announce that as well. You can find me at Paul_Denuzio on Twitter. You can find me here every week on Class Action. And yes, starting tomorrow, Holy Snokes, a Star Wars podcast. Matty and I are going to break down the Bad Batch Season 2 premiere. Also talk about Star Wars in 2023. It can be our first episode. We're going to be here for the forthcoming future. We're going to be doing Bad Batch, Mandalorian when that comes about, everything Star Wars. Should be a great fun time. You also find me here every week doing Crown Jewels. I go through Queen and every song in the Queen catalog, including solo projects. And finally, of course, myself and PJ Campbell will be back soon. Next week, we should be back. We finally are coming back to finish off the Final Destination saga with two mediocre white dudes on film. If PJ is still going to podcast me, that's still up in the air at this point after the villain category tonight. We'll make it work though. But that's it for this week, guys. I'm very appreciative of you guys being here.
Is there another announcement, or are you not making that one yet?
No, I'm not making that one yet.
Okay,
I've talked about it, but yeah, I got okay. There's another announcement coming. There's another announcement coming. I'll just tease and say
long awaited. I'm very excited for this.
Long awaited and true. So, but that's maybe next week. I'll have it for you. Maybe.
I just want to see the video again.
You will. Oh, you will. But until next time, justice is served, everybody. Take care.